You ever have a friend who's clearly messing things up, but rather than owning it, he just starts making stuff up? That's Donald Trump right now. Consumer confidence took its biggest dip in 3 years, and here is his response.
We've seen consumer confidence this week have a sharp drop from last month, the biggest dip in, I believe, 3 years. Why is that your assessment? Why is that the case, and is there anything you can do?
I think that consumer confidence, if you look at confidence in the nation, it had the biggest increase in the history of the chart. It went up 42 points in a period of like days after the election, since the election. So since the election, the confidence in our nation, including right track, wrong track, the first time it's ever happened where we were on the right track, because this country has been on the wrong track for a long time. So the confidence in business, confidence in the country has reached an all-time high. We have never reached levels like we are right now.
Sir, your speed in the 100-meter race has decreased. No. In the first 2 meters, it was the fastest ever. The fastest ever on the charts. What chart? He just makes stuff up. And it's getting bad to the point where even his own defenders and advisors have quit trying to pretend it ain't good.
Can you, without invoking the past administration, guarantee that prices won't rise because of these tariffs?
Prices move up, prices move down. That's the way the world works, right?
Did you hear the truck backing up on his answer right there? Even the truck knew this guy is deflecting. Prices go up, prices go down. Yes, but Donald Trump said from day one he's going to bring the prices down. And it's not happening. But at least some members of Congress are pointing it out.
Voters asked Republicans to lower the high cost of living and prioritize safety and security. Instead, Republicans are doing nothing to address the affordability crisis, even though they control every branch of government. Inflation is up, housing prices are up, and the cost of eggs is through the roof, if you can even find any to buy.
Thank you, Representative Benny Thompson, for laying it out like it is. Even eggs are a luxury item. That's not good. How does that work? People go to restaurants, let me get a Dom Perignon champagne and an omelette. Is that what's going on? We're in bad shape. And people are starting to catch on and realize they got played by Trump and associates.
I think what we're starting to see is the very beginning of buyer's remorse setting in. And the voters that I was talking to both before the election and after the election that are kind of these, we say low information, but we just mean people who aren't tapped into politics all the time. They voted for Donald Trump for one very specific reason. They thought things were too expensive. And they still think things are too expensive. But now what you see is they're like, what is he focusing on? I didn't vote for this dismantling of the government. You may see a lot of terminally online people getting really excited about Doge. But as you can see, there's a lot of sort of more marginal voters who are looking at this and saying, well, this is chaotic. You can see it in the poll numbers. I can hear it in the focus groups. Like, it's already starting to turn. And that is a bad sign for Trump, because honeymoons, even for him, he was getting a pretty muted honeymoon. But honeymoons still usually last a little bit longer than this.
There you have it. Buyer's remorse. She's saying these low information voters voted for him because he said he's going to bring prices down. They were suffering with their groceries. They were suffering with gas prices. They were suffering with housing prices. And Donald Trump came in, and now these people are realizing, oh, wow, this guy has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea what he's doing, and all he's doing is enriching himself and his friends. And that's what's happening, because we're seeing a lot of prices continue to rise. And we're seeing that, first of all, there's issues that are hard to get under control, like they were trying during the Biden administration. All the criticism during the Biden administration was eggs are expensive, inflation, without looking at the context that we were coming out of a worldwide pandemic. We were coming out of a supply chain blockage, and we were trying to have a soft landing. And overall, from all of the other Western countries, America actually dealt with the inflation better than most other Western countries. And so rather than saying, oh, wow, we did a good job of landing coming out of that pandemic that was mismanaged by Donald Trump to start in the first place, rather than people seeing that, they thought, oh, Biden is responsible for this inflation, therefore we're going to vote for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, he was there. He said it on the news. He said, I'm going to bring the prices down day one. Day one, I'll bring prices down. You know where prices have gone up? Gone up in eggs. How about some of the costs of medical pharmaceuticals that Biden had helped negotiate to lower the cost of insulin and some other stuff? Those prices went back up because Donald Trump got rid of that because, it was hurting the insurance companies. Who are the people that he gets money from, gets support from, and wants to enrich? How about the fact that many economists are saying that tariffs are going to be paid for by us? You put a tariff on another country, you put a tariff on steel, well, what's going to happen is the companies that sell us products that uses the metal are going to turn around and raise their prices. So all of a sudden, that beer you used to buy from the beer can, all of a sudden is going to cost another 20 cents more, 30 cents more. Who knows how much more? That washing machine you were buying is going to cost more because who's actually taking on those prices, those costs? We are. So do tariffs really help? Not really. They might help a little bit, but they're not going to help in the bigger picture, and they're not going to help our bottom line. So looking at tariffs, looking at these cuts they're making in the federal government, Elon Musk said, I'm going to cut $2-3 billion from the federal government expenditures and save us money. Again, we're seeing that a lot of that stuff is not, first of all, it's not helping us because they're cutting agencies and they're cutting services that are required. We need, USAID was helping around the world with other diseases, other situations, humanitarian situations, which Americans are complaining, oh, why are people coming to this country? Why are immigrants coming to this country? Because countries are suffering. And so if we can go into some of these countries and help them by making it easier and better for them to live where they live, maybe they wouldn't come here. But now we're going to make it worse for them. So there's going to be more people wanting to come here. So they're trying to say that they're saving money by cutting these jobs in the federal agency. Once again, the amount of money they save by doing that is not as much as they save. Matter of fact, just the other day, they claimed that they'd saved something like $8 billion. And upon further review, someone pointed out it's actually just $8 million, which is not much for the federal government. So they're saying we're going to raise taxes. Raise tariffs. We're going to go ahead and cut these jobs in the federal government. And they're saying that they are going to find other ways to cut costs, etc., in order to help the average American, which is not happening. Now, the question is, why are they doing all this? Why are they trying to show on the surface that they are saving money when, again, upon further observation, they're not saving money? Why are they doing this? You know why they're doing this? Because they're getting ready to extend the tax cut that was given to corporations and to the rich under Trump 1. They're getting ready to extend that tax cut. And they're going to sell it to the average American by saying this is actually a good tax break for you. But we've seen what happens is initially the tax break helps a lot of people, but then eventually it phases out and corporations and the rich start to benefit more and more from it. And then they claim, oh, well, you know what we need? We need less regulation. We need trickle-down economics. Let Elon Musk make another $100 billion and his wealth will trickle down to you. That's not how it works. When Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg get those billions of dollars, they go out and buy multi-million-dollar yachts. They don't give it to you. And we're seeing that now as prices are going up with eggs, as prices are going up elsewhere. Elon Musk doesn't seem to be bothered by it. He said it during the election. He said there's going to be some belt tightening. It'll hurt for a while, but in the long run, it'll be better. Will it? Will privatizing all of these federal agencies, that's what they want to do. They want to privatize the federal government. They want to have a bunch of tech bros want to run government because they feel they can do it better than government has done. Now, I'm not saying that there's not waste in the government. I'm not saying we should not review some of the agencies and see if we need them or don't need them. But the way they're doing it is they're trying to just slash, get rid of, and then they'll turn around and say, well, someone's got to run the Department of Education. It's no longer the Department of Education. We need someone to help with education. Why don't we hire a private company to do that? Someone's got to help with aid overseas. Let's get a private company. And by the way, who's been getting a lot of government contracts? Elon Musk's companies. So interesting. So Elon's getting richer, Donald is getting richer, their friends are getting richer, and you and I are having omelets as a luxury. Buyer's remorse. You voted for this because you could not go one step beyond the statement that he made. Just Google it. Find out if what he's saying is actually true. Will he be able to, as a one person, come into the presidency and make your life a lot better? Does he care about you? He famously is a guy who does not care for his own people. He just uses those people. He uses his base because he doesn't think of them as sophisticated folks. By the way, all it takes is a little search of his history and you'll see that every company and every entity that he's worked with has failed. His casinos failed, his charity failed, his meat business failed, his airline failed. He is not a great businessman. What happened was his father gave him millions and millions of dollars to start out. He went and took that money and he dumped it into the casinos in Atlantic City. Those sunk. His career was not going that well, but he'd created this image that he's this great businessman, the art of the deal. And then Mark Burnett, who was a TV show producer, came out and hired him to do The Apprentice. And then in the eyes of America, he again was successful. And Mark Burnett made a deal for him that allowed him to make another, couple $100 million just for being the host of that show. So is this guy a good businessman? No. And by the way, is being a good businessman, does it directly translate to knowing how to run the government and lower prices? No. And is he being hurt by these prices? Are eggs a luxury for him? No. Is Elon affected by this stuff? No. Who's affected? You and me. So please, don't be a low information voter. You have the phone. It's right there. Just if you see something if somebody says, I'm going to day one lower the price of eggs, just Google, can Donald Trump lower the price of eggs day one? Is that something you can do with an executive order on? Are there other factors that affect the price of eggs? How about the bird flu? How about coming out of a pandemic? How about all of these other factors? And how about giving some credit to what Biden was able to do with lowering costs, insulin costs, lowering some of the costs of your medications? How about giving credit? And how about having a little bit of foresight into the fact that they're going to come after your Social Security, they're going to come after your Medicaid and Medicare, and a lot of the folks that are affected are people in red states who need these programs. Well, folks, you got bamboozled, and here we are, and it's only been not even 2 months yet. So buckle up, and let's see where the economy goes. I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know you found that special here on my commentaries. And also, I'm on tour all over the country and all over the world. So go to mazjobrani.com. Come out and have a laugh with me. If the economy is going to tank, the least we can do is raise the laughter. Take care.